course, Joe Biden himself is not around to answer questions about any of this. He's now hiding out on the beach for the entire week with no public events on his schedule. By the way, you see the guy there with no shirt on? Can somebody buy him a T-shirt or something? Anyway, right before he departed for D.C., Joe finally admitted that he actually has 7 grandkids during a Friday night news dump. Apparently, Joe ignored this little girl for 4 years to give her parents some space to sort things out. You believe that, or was Joe embarrassed into doing it? Anyway, putting that aside, here with all the reaction to today's news is Fox News contributor Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi, okay, you heard everything that Jim Jordan and that James Comer was saying. We know now what went on in this hearing today. We'll get the transcript later this week. What does that sound like to you? Because I know where I grew up, I have a lot of words I can use to describe what went on with the Biden family.
Well, Sean, let's start with remembering the vision that our founders had for this country, that we would be a country of laws, not of men. But every single day that we see more and more evidence coming out about how President Biden and his administration are politicizing the Department of Justice to serve their own personal and political interests ahead of the interests of the country, we can recognize that they are directly and intentionally undermining that very foundation of our democracy, which is the rule of law. And they're doing it in 2 ways. Number one, specifically to go after political opponents, namely Donald Trump supporters. And number 2, to protect themselves, to protect Joe Biden, to protect Hunter Biden, to protect their personal and political allies. The American people need to recognize very clearly what is happening here, the threat to our democracy, and we have to make the decision to put a stop to this, to not allow this to go on, because otherwise we'll find ourselves in a situation in the United States of America where this is now the new norm. Whatever party becomes the party in power will say, hey, look, the last guy did this. We can use the power of law enforcment. Right, we can use our Department of Justice to go after political opponents, and that's not acceptable in this country. Of this.
But and I agree with you. If the FBI is weaponized and politicized, that's a problem. DOJ, I think, has been. I don't think we have equal justice or equal application of our laws as of today in America. That's extremely dangerous to this democratic republic.
It is.
But I want to ask you, Tulsi, this question. We know Joe Biden lied repeatedly, both as a candidate and as a president, when he said he'd never talked to his son or brother or anybody, for that matter, about his foreign business deals. And secondly, that he was never in business. That evolved in the last week or 2. He never was in business with his son. Now Devin Archer is confirming he was getting on the phone calls, and it sounds like me that he was the closer. When Burisma most needed the Biden's help, here was the Zolochevsky on the line. Hunter Biden calls his dad. Dad is on speaker. And sure enough, what they needed done, the firing of the investigator Shokin, happened. What do you call that? And Hunter continues to get paid. Was that a vice president taking action as vice president for the enrichment of his family?
It sure looks like that, given the evidence that we are seeing. You take all of the facts that you've just laid out, coupled with since when does the Department of Justice work on the weekend to send out a routine memo to expedite getting this guy Devin Archer into jail, and then retracting it on a Sunday afternoon, saying, oh, no, actually, we didn't really mean to do that, and he should be allowed to testify before Congress. They're acting so blatantly and abusing their power to benefit President Biden and the Democrat elite. It's hard to dispute the facts that are before us. It's unfortunate that the Democrat elite in Congress are trying to do that.
What do you say about your former Democratic colleagues that they were only talking about the weather, but he said he never talked about these things? We only have about 20 seconds.
You know, it really sickens me, Sean. It really sickens me, because I know that they don't reflect the vast majority of the American people who really do love this country, who care about the rule of law, and are disgusted just like I am by their actions.
All right. Tulsi Gabbard, appreciate your intellectual honesty as always. Thank you.